safer now than we have ever been.
Liar!
You have no idea what you're in for.
In Marvel's Spider-Man 1, we are introduced to the Insomniac Games universe following a recent college graduate, Peter Parker, who works alongside Dr. Otto Octavius in scientific research and development. We all know how the story played out, with Peter Parker taking on Mr. Negative, while Otto developed the tools necessary to become Doc Ock and unleash a vengeful plot against Norman Osborn by releasing the Devil's Breath serum across the city, which Peter was able to stop, but with the cost of losing Aunt May. It was also during this time where Miles Morales obtained his spider powers and MJ and Peter got back together. But what if Peter was able to stop Otto before he became Doc Ock and freed the Sinister Six from the raft? What if Peter intervened right when he noticed Otto demonstrating more erratic behavior? That's where this story begins, in a reality that many would think to be safer, but are gravely mistaken. Instead of Peter trusting Otto and taking his advice that Otto will work out the bugs with his latest discovery and with the mechanical arms, Peter's intuition kicks in to notify the New York Police Department, knowing all the concerning behavior that Otto has been showing ever since they started making achievements in their prosthetic research. His intuition would pay off, as the police were sent in to investigate while Otto was looking to improve the software for the mechanical arms. While gathering evidence, an officer discovered plans for Otto to intercept an Oscorp Sable transport with Dr. Michaels on board, who knew the location of the Devil's Breath serum. This was the nail in the coffin for the case against Otto, where he was arrested and convicted rather quickly. Immediately, this changes the future where Rhino, Scorpion, Electro, Vulture, and Martin Lee were aided in escaping the raft in exchange for helping Otto complete his plan for his revenge against Norman Osborn, but it is not for the better. Several events are now changed in this universe. First, Aunt May never becomes infected with the Devil's Breath plague, since it hasn't happened. She is still able to healthily run feasts with Peter by her side from time to time. However, since MJ now has no reason to sneak into the Osborn penthouse, she doesn't find the experimental spider that ends up biting Miles Morales, meaning he doesn't become Spider-Man quite yet. Lastly, Peter and MJ are slowly making amends to their fragile romantic relationship, which will take several more weeks than if Otto released the Devil's Breath serum, as we know from the original story. Since it was revealed at Otto's trial, Dr. Michaels will still take the necessary actions to synthesize a cure for the Devil's Breath serum, knowing that if Otto had such a detailed plan to steal it, then other superpowered individuals with bad intentions are not far behind. This will pay off massively, as Hammerhead will still make his efforts to become immortal with Silver Sable's technology. Hammerhead will become aware of the Devil's Breath serum and make an effort to steal it. Peter and Silver Sable will both be attempting to fend him off, but will be unsuccessful, as he also dispatched several other Magia members to raid Silver Sable's armories across the city to steal their supplies. This catches Peter and Sable off guard, allowing for Hammerhead to be successful in both stealing the Devil's Breath serum and the first batch of supplies needed to make himself immortal. Seeking to cause as much chaos as possible, Hammerhead will order his men to find and kill Dr. Michaels, where they are very successful, as Yuri Watanabe was too late to bring him into the custody of the NYPD. This leaves the whereabouts of the synthesized cure to be unknown to Peter. Luckily, in this universe, MJ will take matters into her own hands by sneaking into Norman Osborn's penthouse to find his secret lab. Hammerhead has already released the Devil's Breath serum during the Norman Osborn campaign event, very similar to Otto Octavius in the main story, meaning MJ and Peter have to act quickly if they are to save as many lives as they can. MJ will find Norman's secret lab alongside all the contents inside of it, from the spider to all known data about the location of the cure, to the truth about Harry Osborn, to the shocking reveal of how Martin Lee became Mr. Negative. She will bring the experimental spider back with her to Feast, where it bites Miles Morales, restoring part of the original story where he will become Peter's apprentice. After finding out that Aunt May has been infected and is approaching critical condition, Peter will move quickly to obtain the cure for the Devil's Breath serum, which is expected to be at a secure Oscorp lab west of Central Park. Unfortunately, Hammerhead and his men followed him right to the serum. Thanks to his Silver Sable's security, they are able to hold off Hammerhead and the Magia for a little bit, giving Peter enough time to discover that multiple batches of the cure had been synthesized since the plague began. Knowing he only needs one sample and the recipe for how to create more in the short amount of time before the Magia finds him, Peter is quick with his decision, not knowing that he will still be too slow to save Aunt May. Meanwhile, Black Cat will appear to offer Peter a way to defeat Hammerhead. She reveals that while Hammerhead was fighting his way into the Oscorp facility, Felicia used a stolen Sable sniper rifle to get in one one clean shot against Hammerhead's head, making him prone to the same heat sensitivity she originally discovered. Peter entrusts the cure to MJ and Miles at Feast to help as many people as possible before informing Silver Sable that he has a way to stop Hammerhead. Luring and fighting the Maggia leader on the cloaked ship in the Hudson River, Peter and the Sable will take a long time bringing down Hammerhead, eventually be able to exploit the known weakness, but it's already too late. Aunt May has already passed before MJ and Miles were able to create more doses for the rest of the city. Peter never got his chance to say goodbye to his beloved aunt. Several weeks pass by since the tragic Devil's Breath epidemic. MJ being there for Peter during this lonely time makes the two realize their love for each other, willing to give the boyfriend-girlfriend thing another go. Peter is quickly called back into action as Spider-Man as he receives a call from Yuri Watanabe, who does not become Wraith in this reality due to the drastic changes in the Devil's Breath incident. However, the person on the other end of the line is not Yuri, but instead a mysterious voice calling him the Fool's Beacon. Peter hears Yuri and other police officers in the background. Using his tracking technology, Peter follows the signal to an abandoned building in Astoria. Before entering, he notices a cloaked figure in a black hoodie crawling through a vent. Following this new similarly powered individual, Peter discovers that it is Miles Morales, who reveals that he tried telling Peter about these newfound powers weeks ago, but never had a good chance to. Once the two effortlessly save Yuri, Peter agrees to take on Miles as his apprentice to teach him more about his spider powers and how to hone them best. This training will take place over several months during the events of what we know as Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Peter will decide not to join MJ in Symkaria as he believes that Miles is not ready to handle New York City all by himself for an extended period of time. This means that Peter will be there to help Miles when his childhood friend Finn seeks to destroy everything that Roxxon has created by destroying their Newform core in Harlem, only to have it backfire. Luckily, in this universe, Peter and Miles are able to stop both Finn and Simon Krieger by having them arrested. However, this means that Aaron Davis, Miles' uncle, never has a reason to turn on the Roxxon CEO and remains the Prowler instead of seeking to be on a path for redemption. Despite the success in preventing Harlem from being destroyed with Finn surviving through, the Spider-Man are about to have their world turned upside down. Peter and Miles both go to the airport to pick up Mary Jane. Already confirming with Miles that it's okay to take a few days off and let him handle being Spider-Man, Peter is immediately disheartened when he sees that MJ has come home, but in a casket. Since she was there alone, Silver Sable was not able to protect her from a tragic ambush by her war opponents. She delivers the heartbreaking story to Peter and Miles, leaving him to absorb the guilt and wondering what could have happened if he was there with her. Miles will also have some guilt by not trying to step up so Peter could have gone with MJ, but the past cannot be changed. There is still so much more to this story, with the worst and best moments yet to come for both of our Spider-Men.